everyone, and welcome to the November 14th, 2023 Bloomfield Hills City Commission meeting. Let's all please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is City Clerk Amy Burton will report the results of the City Commission election held on November 7th, 2023.
Thank you, Mayor Buckley. This election saw 4,000 registered voters for 19% voter turnout, and I'd like to report the results. Commissioner Baxter received 487 votes. Commissioner Buckley received 480 votes. Commissioner Fisher David received 480 votes. Commissioner Fisher Lauren received 490 votes, and Commissioner McCarthy received 497 votes. Congratulations. Now if you would all please rise and repeat the oath after me. Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and will endeavor to secure and maintain
and will endeavor to secure and maintain
an honest and efficient administration of the affairs of the City of Bloomfield Hills,
of the affairs of the City of Bloomfield Hills,
free from partisan distinction or control,
free from partisan distinction or control,
and to perform the duties
and to perform the duties
of the office of City Commissioner
of the office of City Commissioner
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Okay, next, the commission will appoint the following positions. The first position is mayor of the city. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to have the mayor for the 2024 calendar year. Is that, do I say calendar year, Amy? Or election year, right?
2024 year.
2024 year, Brad Baxter.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. I guess I turn the gavel over to you right now, Brad. And the next item is the election of the mayor pro tem, or appointment, excuse me,
Yeah.
of the mayor pro tem.
I'll make a motion that we assign or elect Lauren Fisher as the mayor pro tem for 2024.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Lauren Fisher is carried as mayor pro tem. Now I'll turn the meeting over to our new mayor, Brad Baxter.
Thank you, Alice. At this point, we'd like to recognize the outgoing mayor, Alice Buckley. Amy, is this, okay. And what we have here is a very beautiful crystal with your name on it.
Oh, nice.
Mayor, City of Bloomfield Hills, Alice Buckley.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Just don't drop it on your foot.
Oh, it's heavy. It's very heavy. Thank you. It's been a privilege and an honor. We have a great city and great people to work with, and I had a really good time. So thank you, all of you too.
Thank you.
All right. And before we move on, I did want to say a couple of words.
Oh.
I would like to recognize Mayor Alice Buckley for her exemplary service as mayor of City of Bloomfield Hills. I have enjoyed getting to know her better over the last couple of years, and I have always been impressed with how prepared she was for each meeting, with copious notes and ready-to-read motions. The diligence she put forth in the review of any contract the city was about to approve was impressive and very much appreciated by those of us that may not have had the patience or expertise. Additionally, Mayor Buckley has been reliable and a staunch representative for the city while navigating the unexpected complexities of newly placed bus stops, which involve meetings with other municipalities as well as meetings with MDOT. Mayor Buckley's voice was and is a well-thought voice with sincerity and care for the well-being of the city and its residents. Thank you, Mayor Buckley, for your service.
Thank you, that's very nice, thank you, Brad.
All right, next on the agenda, we need to approve the consent agenda. Do we have any questions?
The only thought I had was, Brian, I was looking at the permits and that, and it looked like, it's funny, for the residential, it was down about half, and for the commercial buildings, it's pretty consistent, is that right? Would you agree with that? For over, year to date, year over year? Or is your workload still a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the only thing I can think of is we might have had more progress check inspections and things like that last year, so that would raise the inspection count up.
oh, okay.
Inspections and stuff, so this year we might not have had as many progress checks and stuff, so.
But we still have as much, the building, and going on, and people are adding and doing things to their homes and things like that.
Bigger projects.
Bigger projects, yeah, okay. And then also I had a question, is he official name the chief? I'm sorry, do I say that wrong, or director,
It's
or?
funny, we call him chief, but his official title is director, public safety, Jeff.
Okay,
But we,
chief, I don't know, whatever, right?
yeah, we affectionately call him chief. so
Yeah.
whatever.
So, we're fully staffed, I see, on the, from their notes.
We're fully staffed in officers and command officers at 25, so glad to report that.
That's excellent, that's great news, really good news.
We also have 3 graduating the police academy out of that fully staffed coming up shortly in a few weeks, I believe December 7th.
Oh, that's great, that's great. And then dispatchers, we have just one open, half part-time, is that correct? That's
Yes.
great, that's great, a lot of progress we've made in that area.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, well done in getting us fully back up and staffed and running
Thank you.
again. I didn't have any other questions on the consent.
No other questions? I just had a real quick question about, there's a $30,000 expense for the Trowbridge Farm subdivision, which I'm assuming is a road repair. My question is that part of the planned, or was that the contingency portion that
So,
was?
yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, yeah.
So I think part of that was, there were some adjustments to the project, structures and different things that we did not initially plan in, but it was captured in the contingency costs.
Okay,
So I believe that charge is a mixture of some different things, but what was most important to me, and I can speak to this, is I've made sure that we are within the budget.
yep, okay,
So we had to do things to make it right or get it right, but we're within budget.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Oh, before we do that, do we need to talk about the correspondence, the memo on the boards and commission appointments? Or is that,
If there's any comments on it, it will be on the agenda for adoption in December. So
Okay.
it was presented today, informational.
okay, everybody okay with
Yep.
that? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead then.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the recognition of citizens in the audience. This is where we, anybody that wants to get up and speak about an item that is not already on the agenda, this is your opportunity. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, and when you do comment, please give your name and address. And do we have anybody here today that would like to say anything? Just here for the fun, huh? Okay. All right, if we don't have any comments from the audience, next item on the agenda Commission will consider the request of the property owner. Oh, I think we're,
Yep, it's off.
this is off the agenda, that's right. Okay, moving on. Commission will consider the request for approval of a charitable gaming license for the AI Foundation?
Yes.
Okay.
Amy?
Mayor, I had an individual attend an office hour appointment and asked a question at the counter. They are a 501c3 organization in the city of Bloomfield Hills, and they're having a charitable gaming, they need a charitable gaming license from the state of Michigan. One of those requirements is that the city commission adopts a resolution. It's something that the city commission has done over the years. There's a memo and a letter from the AI Memorial Foundation in your packet, and there are 2 representatives here from the foundation to present or answer any questions of the commission.
Okay. Would you like to present, please?
Just
You can come up to the podium.
My name is Amanda Cavassini. I'm one of the board members for it's really Antonella Improda Memorial Foundation. That's what AI stands for. It's a charity started in my niece's honor. What we do is we raise money to provide service dogs for children with medical needs, physical disabilities, anything like that. All of our proceeds, 100% of them go towards the money for the dogs. We work with a foundation called Ultimate Canine out of Indiana. They are the ones that train the dogs. The trainers then go live with the families for anywhere from a month to a week to help the families learn how to handle the dogs. They are individually matched with each child. The dogs that we're providing for these families can cost upwards of $50,000 to $60,000. The little girl that we provided one for last year, Allison, she has I apologize, I'm not medically inclined, but the name has 1,000 letters in it. But what it is she suffers from seizures. She suffers from cognitive disorders and things like that. And Daisy, the dog that we gave her, kind of acts as a second mom to her. Allison is 8, and the mom has not spent a night outside of the bed without Allison until they got Daisy. So now Daisy alerts the parents when Allison is about to have a seizure. She goes to school with Allison. She rides the bus with her. She does everything with her. Our next little girl, Carson, who we have provided a dog for right now, Shelby, that dog is being trained right now. Carson's body isn't able to process proteins. So Shelby will be able to distinct both chemically and physically when Carson has this situation going on with her body and alert Chloe, her mom. So that's kind of what we do, and our goal is to provide 1 to 2 children with a dog each year. The event that we're asking for the gaming license for is Night at the Races. It's kind of like a, virtual Kentucky Derby, more or less. It's one of the few events that we handle each year. In the fall, we have a family event held at Packard Proving Ground that we do like a little carnival thing as well. That's where some of our money that we raise comes from as well. So that's what this gaming license would be for, is the event in March.
How do they select the recipients of the dogs?
It's a screening process, first through Ultimate Canine. They have to make sure that the home is viable, that the family is viable, the proper housing, fencing. Do they have other dogs in there? Are they able to handle it? A lot of people think they get a service dog and that's great, but there's a lot of training that goes on after the service dog is given to the family. And Julie, who we work with Ultimate Canine, she does the first level of screening, and then after that, she gives us a few options, and then the board gets together, and then we decide amongst the board members which ones we feel she kind of guides us into thinking this child might benefit the most, or this is what I see, or this is the dogs that we have and they might fit this child best. So it's guided by Julie, but then the board usually votes on, which one we provide for.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Please, no, there's not a bigger dog lover than me in this room.
It's okay.
Let me know, I will tell you. And I personally would support your organization. I'm asking this more from the attorney and Amy and Dave administratively. I mean, I've been on this board 6 years and I don't remember us doing it, but my memory could be bad. Are you located here in the city?
Mm-hmm.
So
We-
are
our
you
office-
registered?
Our office is right off of Long Lake and Woodward. That's where our home base is.
You have an office here in the city?
Yes.
That you run your business with,
Yes,
right?
yes, that is our home base. That's where all of our stuff comes out of and goes to.
And have you had other fundraisers where you needed to get licenses?
No, we've never done anything that's required a gaming license prior to this event.
And the residents who get these dogs, I think it's wonderful for these children, but are they city residents or just any place around here?
It could be all over. It could be in the state of Michigan. It could be in Indiana. It could be in whatever. It's more of a child in need than just within a 50-mile radius.
And is this event that you're taking place, is this here in the city of Bloomfield Hills, or is it?
It actually is it's going to be at Penna's on Van Dyke.
Oh.
So I believe that's Sterling.
Dirk, I'm
Heights.
confused.
This is actually a fairly run-of-the-mill kind of situation. I've come across it easy 50 times in the various communities that represent Bloomfield Township, Auburn Hills. We have done it here in the past. I think it's been a while since we've seen one, but it's a requirement for, casino nights, those kind of events. And
So it's more like because it's a race horsing event you're talking
it's
about.
because it's a fundraising event generally where there's some sort of game of chance involved. And so the state requires that the municipality the city in this case, determine that this particular organization is a nonprofit operating in the city of Bloomfield Hills. That's what's required in order for them to get the license to hold the event.
And have we verified that you've seen their paperwork and everything, so we know they are?
I have not verified that.
I have.
Yeah.
You have verified that they have all the right
Our city
paperwork?
clerk has.
Yes.
Huh?
Our city clerk has. Yeah.
Okay, so you verified, I'm sorry, I just have not done this before.
No, that's quite all right. Neither have I, so that's why I'm here.
Well, it kind of scared me because I did do it for a nonprofit for a school in the city. And I'm like, I never got a gaming license. I mean, we got a license through the state, but it wasn't a gaming license. That's where the difference is here. It's not just a fundraiser license, it's an actual gaming. Is that right?
Raffles, casino nights, poker nights, all those things require a gaming license.
I gotcha, okay. I just want, probably shouldn't have admitted that, right?
All fundraisers wouldn't necessarily have to have it. It's more in the nature of the gaming.
Yeah, like raffle tickets wouldn't have anything, right? Okay, I'm safe. Okay, I've just never heard of this, and I just want to make sure that what we're, as a city commission, we're elected to do things of the business, of the
Absolutely.
residents of the city and stuff. This is the first one that I've come across, but, it's fine. I think it's a wonderful organization.
Thank you.
What you're doing.
Thank you.
Any other
I don't
questions?
know.
No, I get it.
Do we have a motion to approve the resolution?
I move that we approve and adopt the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming licenses requested by the Antonella Imprata Foundation of Bloomfield Hills, asking that the organization be recognized as a nonprofit organization operating in the community for the purposes of obtaining charitable gaming licenses in the form presented to the City Commission in our agenda packet for tonight's meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion carries.
We have to do all of those in favor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Favor.
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
You'd think this was your first
All
meeting or
opposed?
something.
Thank you.
I was just mesmerized by the ready-to-read motion.
No, that's.
Did you expect it?
Do you take any special kind of, do you have a certain kind of dog you do, or just any?
In all honesty, Daisy was a black lab and Shelby is a golden retriever. Julie looks at each dog individually and they have to pass a series of tests. So they have golden doodles, they have little terriers. It all just depends on the needs of the children and what she thinks is going to match.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, the commission will consider a budget amendment for the HVAC system repairs at City Hall.
Sandra?
Thank you. So recently we had the HVAC's main service technician come out to do the annual maintenance before we started up the HVAC systems. And they discovered 2 of the city hall units are cracked, and they're a little bit rusted, and so they're leaking carbon monoxide through the system. It's not a dangerous level. Chief Gormley has come over and tested it, so it's not at a dangerous level as of now, but certainly, you know, it's something to be concerned with. The units are 24 years old, and the expected life is 20 to 25, so they're right at the end. So we're recommending a replacement rather than a repair. And we received 3 quotes. And as I stated in the memo, family heating and cooling was the least expensive. However, there's additional work because of the unit that they would install. There would have to be some retrofitting. So really they're about at the same cost that air handlers is at. And also family heating and cooling noted on their quote that their wait time to schedule was about 10 weeks out. So that'd put us right in the middle of winter. So Air Handlers is a company that we've used in the past many times. So we're recommending them to replace the 2 units, and then also requesting a budget amendment. And the total would be around $48,000 because it would include roof repair that may need to be done after the units are installed because they're up on the roof.
What type of unit is air, what are they recommending?
That would be a train.
A train?
That's the brand name.
Do these have warranties on them?
That's a good question.
They do have warranties. I believe the units are 10-year warranties on the unit and 1 year for, like,
On both like a carrier and a train?
yes. They're very similar units. The carrier just has the exhaust intake and exit is reversed. So because it goes into an existing building, they would have to, and they can't just rotate the unit because of the spacing on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to redo a lot of ductwork above the unit and create new passage for the airflow.
And the third place, what kind of unit did they suggest or offer?
Bryant.
A Bryant? Mm-hmm.
So you may remember we brought to the commission the possibility of having to replace, I think we have 9 units. So in the budget process, we talked about setting some money aside, maybe $100,000 or more. And at the time, the commission decided, well, let's just do it when we have something break down, we'll take care of it. So unfortunately, there's 2 of them, and to replace the heat exchanger on a 24-year unit doesn't make sense to us. Mm-hmm. And so we've been doing a lot of building improvements and using our capital funds. So we thought about this issue, and we are comfortable. Sandra's comfortable with utilizing these building funds to do it. So it's a good way to do it, I think, to get them paid for, and I think we need to get it done sooner than later.
Oh, I agree. How do we fund the building fund?
Permits.
I probably should know that, but,
Yep, it's all through permits.
so the permits to the city fund the building fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are reserved for building or anything that relates to running the building department.
So how with the building fund, you may recall, so we take a look at this building fund and make sure we have enough money to cover not only paying for Brian's salary, but paying for, actually a portion of a lot of employee salaries, because the building department is kind of one of the more busy things,
Right,
bigger things that
right.
we do. And not only that, but we pay for utilities, and we pay for a variety of things with these funds. But it's important that if we have a slow downturn, that we have enough money in this fund. So we were in a position where we were, that I noticed a couple of years ago, I think now, that I could forecast an issue. So you may remember we went to the city commission and we recalculated or redid the way our fees are charged, and the city commission approved a new fee schedule. And we used to base it on square footage of buildings, but you know that in this city, a square footage of a certain building may not be comparable to a square footage of another smaller, less expensive. So we base it now, which everybody bases it on, and all the communities around us, on the costs of construction. And so because of that, we were able to build up our reserves. And just like the water and sewer fund, you can't make money, but you're allowed to have enough money to pay for everything. So after analyzing this with Sandra, we're in a good position right now to, and I think that information is in your packet.
Yeah, we
So
saw
what
that.
the fund is.
Yeah.
That this would be an appropriate way to pay for these needed improvements to
So-
heat the building.
Do we have a reserve fund or reserve amount in that,
That's it. That is the fund.
Well, it is the fund, but I mean, in our general fund, we have a certain reserve we like to keep at, you know what I'm saying? To run the city. So do we have that same amount so that we don't run it down to zero?
We'd like to keep it around 400 to 500,000. That actually just did a really detailed analysis of it, just looking if we were in a downturn, how long would we, have a reserve available for use. And 400 to 500,000 seems a pretty comfortable range. And that's where we're at right now.
I was just saying, that's where we're at right now, right?
Yeah, if you look at, it's unaudited, I don't have the final
Right.
numbers, but it's around 600,000 right now.
Okay,
And then projecting forward, it would be around 560 without this $48,000.
A couple years ago, we were at 60,000. So we're at 60,000.
can we report on that? I'm sorry.
So actually, I think we're at 140, and I could see the next year be 60. So we are now, and we're in a good standing right now. And Michigan law allows us, and Dirk, you can probably comment on this, but Michigan law allows us to keep a certain amount of funds. But, Sandra and I have talked about this. We both have our opinions, and the same with water and sewer fund. But we both agree on this, at a $400,000 to $500,000 surplus in there, and we're above that. And so this could be a good way to purchase these items.
This really isn't an optional expense either. This is
No.
something that has to be taken care of. So.
Yeah, so it's either out of this or out of the general fund. I mean, technically, this is the general fund, just so you know. This is technically the general fund, but this is a reserve component of the general fund.
Okay. Do we have a carbon monoxide detector in the building? We do now?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
When I came over, I brought the carbon monoxide detectors off of the fire truck, same as like the gas company uses, and went through the whole building, both sides. And there's a lot of open air, doors opening and closing, and windows and cracks, and it takes a lot of airspace in here, so heat hasn't been running heavily yet, and so we didn't have any problems. I know we have carbon monoxide detectors in our area on DPS, and I will check for you here. I don't know, and if we don't have them, I can install some.
It's probably worth that's a silent, it's not good. It can make people very sick, so. For a few $100s, it's probably worth it, so that when you guys are here all day. So, okay. We need a motion?
Do we have a motion to approve the expense and the budget amendment? Or do those have to be separate? Okay.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the expense and the budget amendment to replace 2 ACs units. That's what they are? HVACs units in the building.
Maybe define the expense, the 48,000?
What's your total? Do we need Dirk, do we need a total on that one?
48,000.
Yeah, 48,000, not to exceed 48,000. Okay,
And using air handlers.
and using air handlers for it.
just, this is a minor thing, but I think it was 43,332 plus 5,000, right? So that is over 48,000.
Yeah, and that 5,000 is just a very rough.
Oh, very rough?
estimate.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And we're not even certain we'll spend that, if I'm correct. It just depends.
Okay.
So 48,000 will cover it.
It will cover
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I'll second the motion, if that helps.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next, we have, the commission will receive the report on the 2023 goals and discuss the 2024 city commission goals.
Mayor, we have a memo about last year's goals and the fact that we accomplished all the goals. We accomplish the goals every year. And last year, what I did is I put together a list of 5 years of goals. Those goals included commission goals, but we have, the administration always has goals. So we have a lot of goals all the time. And we have a new list that we've developed. But a lot of those aren't, don't necessarily pertain to commission goals. So every year, we ask the commission, are there goals that you have? And we want to know from you what you'd like to accomplish. And then typically what we do is we have the commission vote on that in December. We can always add to them. But that gives us any direction of what the commission will want us to do during the next year, and we'll make sure we get it done. Of course, we have, again, we just have a lot of goals in addition to that. And a lot of these goals, what we'll do too is we'll make them annual goals. So if you notice, like annual DPS training, we want to report every year. We do that. Ethics training for the boards now every year and during election years, certainly. And so we have a variety of things that we are doing now on an annual basis. Another, from a finance perspective, we did revise the purchasing policy, but now Sandra also reviews all our all the people that we were vendors, all the vendors that we and so she goes through that every year too. So, but if there's anything that the city commission wants us to concentrate on this next year, please let us know, and we'll bring that back to the city commission, and you guys can vote on it. We'll make it official, and we'll accomplish those goals for you.
Okay. When do you want those by, Dave?
If you could do it before the next meeting, that'd be helpful.
Do we have any ideas at the moment about something? Or-
I'm always big on just beautification and cleaning up something in the city that may look, sightful or whatever. I think you mentioned in your other goals about looking at some of the ordinances and making sure that, there's not, sometimes we come across an ordinance and there's, I think the estate sale one was one with the signs, make sure there's no, they're all the same.
I appreciate that. So there are some proposed goals in here, and what you're saying is really, what we've noticed is, and I think even the Commissioner Baxter's noticed with all the paperwork we get now and from the planning commission meetings, and I believe our planner does an excellent job. He has a lot of reports now and a lot of preparation. And if you look at the presentations and all the color, schematics, whatever you call it, I always get that word. Graphics. I always forget that word, graphics. We want to apply some of that to some of the ordinances, because what we feel is if we can help all the residents and all the applicants understand the ordinances as much as possible, it'll only help when they go to a planning commission or ZBA. We feel we owe it to the residents to really help them understand what the ordinances mean, make sure they're clear, and make sure that there's graphics so they can easily understand what is a front yard, what's a backyard, what's the yard definitions, what's the open space calculations, what is, and I feel that the planners have gone through all this and working with the community to find all these problems and issues, that they've provided us with some recommendations. So I want to be able to go through that process, and the process would be have the planning commission review the things that we would recommend, and then ultimately to the city commission to approve it. And if the planning chair would want to have subcommittee meetings to go through that. But we feel that it's time, we've really, I think, have put the planners in the right place. I think they do a good job presenting and going through the material and understanding it. No one's perfect, there's things that they miss. But we want to give them the tools that they need to act as our gatekeepers and talking with the folks to make sure that everybody understands what's accepted, what's not accepted, what the ordinances say. So that is kind of a big goal for us to do, but we wanna kind of tackle it. And so we want your permission to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lofty one, but it'll be well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these goals, ordinances, we haven't looked at until it comes up, till the situation comes up.
The only thing too is we noticed that the annual report for the planning commission is really nice. And we provide that, it lets the planning commission know what happened to that, or, what did we look at throughout the year?
The follow-up.
The follow-up.
Yep.
And I did report on that in one of my weekly reports recently. But we thought that would be a great idea for the ZBA too, because I can understand how you could go through these meetings and not really know, where our wishes listened to or adhered to, and whatever happened to that project. And sometimes people don't go through the project, and so it might be nice for you to know. And it helps us too to collect data and understand trends, and help us understand how we can better help not only the boards and commissions but our residents too. So that'd be a goal. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Is it time for manager's
Time
comments?
for city manager comments.
I appreciate that. Just a couple things. I promised the staff that I would personally thank the outgoing mayor for working with us, and everybody wanted you to know that they really enjoyed working with you. And so they really felt the cooperation, and they appreciate your support. So
Well, I feel mutually about it. Everyone was great, and
Yeah.
like I said, it was a privilege to serve, so
thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. I wanted to recognize our chief, or director of public safety, Jeff Gormley. I was thinking today that it's been a year since the department changed to the 12-hour shift. And so you may recall that was not an easy thing to do for the department. And so we gave Jeff his marching orders to go over to the department and make sure that you're fully staffed and trained, and kind of reap the benefits of this shift. It's going to be a hard process and a tough thing to do. And Jeff unwaveringly did that, and he took the tools that the city commission gave us by allowing us to hire people with experience. And he has found folks that work for us now that have more experience, and particularly fire experience, than we've ever had. And so he's him and his staff, I should say. I'm remiss in not mentioning his team, but he put a nice team together in this time of this age that it's difficult to find people that want to do this job. Mm-hmm. And he was able to fully staff this department, and we've taken advantage of the recent state law and allowing us to put people through the police academy and reimburse for it, and then making sure that people stay around, and so I just wanted us to recognize Jeff. I don't think we recognize him enough. He's just like this, is really even keeled, and when I go next door, I feel this sense of the culture and the atmosphere has changed, And the feeling over there is good. And it's Jeff that's doing it, so I wanted to recognize him.
Good.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
kudos, Jeff. You are very even-keeled.
He holds a course, I like it.
He does, doesn't
Give him a
he?
job and he holds a course. So that's what you need over there. And the only other thing I was gonna say is we plant all our trees, except for some in the island. So for new commissioners, so every year we've been doing beautification where and you probably received a letter asking if you want trees in your
We did.
city right away. And so this year we had about 70 trees that we installed in the city-owned right-of-way throughout residential areas. And we also are replacing about 10 or 15 trees on the Woodward median.
Okay, good.
Which, I always think I can't shoehorn another tree over there, but you drive down there and, yeah, sure, we found about 10 more spots. So that was real successful. And yeah, and that's all within budget. I think it was a $50,000 budget. I think we got about 80 trees or something.
Speaking of those trees, do we talk to the people about making sure they remove the sticks?
I think we're gonna do it.
Are we? Okay.
It wasn't that tough, and I appreciate you letting us know. So, yeah, Commissioner McCarthy let us know, and I drove around, and you're right. So a year later, we still had the wrapping around the trees and the stakes.
The wrapping's not so bad. That was one thing I was gonna ask you. Somebody took the wrapping off a tree on our street, and those trees are just right for the deer antlers right now, this
I was
time
gonna
of
tell you
year.
that, yes.
And so they go after, so that's why I put like a rubber or a wrapping, some people do. If you don't, that it'll kill the tree. So and again, it's nice that we put these trees in, but these people gotta take care of them. I mean, they can't just,
Yeah.
we
That
can't,
might
I
be-
don't wanna wrap them, but are they all wrapped? It doesn't seem like.
Yeah, I think they're wrapped and staked. I haven't seen all of them, but we did take the wrapping off. That's a good point. I actually received a call today from a resident about deer,
Yeah.
rubbing up against the trees. I don't think we're gonna go out and buy rubber things for all the
No, I don't
trees.
think so either, but we need to just, when people
Yeah.
call or whatever, just say you need to cover those trees in. This time of year is when they do it to shed their antlers.
Right.
Look, I'm a deer expert now living in the city.
Well, you know what we were talking about today, and I was gonna mention this also, is we're gonna send out a newsletter. And that would be something that we can mention. Another thing we're gonna mention is some fall cleanup advice. And actually, I know the coyotes have been out there,
Yeah.
so we're going to, I talked to the chief about our information about coyotes and what to do and what not to do with them, so I think we're gonna put that out there too. So we should have a newsletter out within the next few days.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Do we need an article or you're just doing one?
No, this is informational.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like a news blast, right?
Yeah,
Or newsletter?
e-newsletter.
Yeah, so it'd be
E-newsletter?
e-newsletter.
I hope that people read that about coyotes would be
Yeah.
helpful. And the trees, just making sure that we take care of those, I think is a, a really good idea. And
Yes.
the only other thing I can think of to remind residents is the dog tags. They have to renew them every year and get a dog license, right?
Yeah, I think, can't they get them or just more than 1 year or just 1 year?
1 year.
Just 1 year, okay, that's right.
It's only 1 year, right? It's not 3, right?
Just one.
Okay, yeah, we probably should just remind people that
Good idea.
they need a dog license and they need to renew it every year. I don't know if we really want to send renewal notices, but if we send a reminder about getting a dog license and renewing it, that should be enough to trigger it with somebody.
We definitely will.
Those are kind of just things in the city that people, don't think about.
Right.
But I noticed the trees. I actually think that they're gonna make the city a difference. You get in another 10 years from now, they're just gonna look.
They're doing well.
They're
The ones
doing really
from-
well.
Yes, the ones from
We
3 years ago.
we get nothing but positive
Yeah.
feedback on these. And I think part of it is we have a lot of maples. Not silver maples, but good quality maples, and they grow fast. And and they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah,
They're just beautiful.
yeah.
Don't forget about the oaks.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
Plant a few of those too.
Yes.
And the oak wilt, now is when you can't cut them, right? You can't cut the oak trees.
I
In
think,
November.
Yeah,
starting in
you want to
November.
cut them at the first, after the first frost.
Yeah, after?
Yeah,
After,
yeah,
after.
after the first frost, you want to cut them. This is
Well,
more like the time when they
we
start
can add
cutting
that
them.
too. We can add that. That's right in line with everything else we're talking about. Perfect.
Speaking of the first frost, Brian, when does the state issue the frost for the heavy trucks, you know?
Well, that's more towards the spring.
Oh, it's not in the fall, it's more towards the spring, until it
Well, it's
lifts.
coming out of the ground. And the frost lasts gone.
It's usually between February and May. That's when it is. It's usually February and the beginning of May. It's when you can start driving again on the.
When the frost comes out of the
But
ground.
roads are, there's different roads, different state roads.
Well, when do they close it, though? When do they announce the closing of them?
February.
Usually in, like Dave said, usually in that March, in the spring, is when they announce it.
February, March is when the frost laws usually come out, and they're not the same every year because they do look at the weather and as the frost is coming out of the ground.
Uh-huh.
But it's to protect the roads when the frost is
Coming out,
or when
okay.
it's warming up. And they're usually on for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on the year.
Okay,
And
okay.
there's different class roads too, that they can drive on or they can't drive on, so there's different class.
Oh, okay, good to, all right, that's good to know. I just noticed that we're having sort of a late fall, so, I wouldn't mind it forever going through this way, but.
Did we provide notice to the people in Trowbridge Farms who have driveways on the new chip seal roads about their snow removal contractors? And remember you had some concern about
I don't think we have, so
The-
that's another good thing.
not
Yeah.
lifting up the chip seal at
Right.
the edge of their driveways?
I don't think we did. I think, we should, because, if you go in there with a blade, you can, that is a concern, cause a real problem in there.
Something that they could provide to their contractors
Yeah.
if they don't do it
We
themselves.
will talk to the association president, and and we'll also send them a letter or something. Maybe we'll send them a letter. How about that?
I think it would be nice to put in, if there's specific things they need to do, something, because didn't you say they have to lift the blade up or something at the edge of the driveway, or?
Well, they can't just take that blade
Yeah,
and
they
go
can't
straight
just-
out the
no,
thing,
they'll
it'll
rip it
rip
right
the
out.
whole road up.
Yeah,
I'll talk to our DPW snowplow guys and make sure I know what I'm talking about. And we'll get some information out to them.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, is that chip seal someplace else that we could ask, does Birmingham have it or something?
Yes.
I wonder what they do with their
I don't know.
residents.
Walt Cuter said his brother lives on a road that's been chip sealed in Birmingham,
Oh,
but I don't know
Yeah,
where.
I know. I wonder how do they send one out every year? Do they, just,
I don't know. We'll find a way to communicate with everybody.
okay. Is the draining on Trowbridge okay?
Seems to be very much improved from the very first application. There was some riprap that was put in and some sealing of the sides of the roads, which helps prevent the erosion, and that all seems to be working quite well. Yeah, it's holding up really quite well.
Good,
We're very happy with it.
good. That's good news.
Okay, last, is that everything? Last on the agenda, we have, the commission will consider other business.
Nothing.
All right.
One thing I wanted to mention is, are we going to have training for the commission from Dirk
Yes.
soon, or will it be in January, or?
I'm sure. Just let me know when you want to have it. and I'll-
Yeah, I haven't talked to them about it yet, but yes. I will.
Just give you the
we'll
subject
talk.
and when you, sure,
Yeah.
yes, the answer is sure.
Could you, I mean, if you
January's
would,
fine.
like the, similar to what we had last year,
Sure.
just to
Yeah.
review it, and we have a new
I know that
member.
we recently talked about the ZBA, right? And that we haven't been able to get to that yet, right?
That we were gonna all do it in January, do all of the training in January.
That's perfectly fine.
You got it, see? She knows better than me, thanks.
There you go.
All right. Well, I think we're done. Meeting adjourned.
All right, success.